I think I'm a part of something. Something that isn't natural, but something that I don't know if it's supernatural either. I don't know how this all started, but I guess every story needs a start, whether it's good, bad, or mediocre. I could say this started when I first moved into my new house. Up until the age of 27, I've been living with my parents. Sure, you can call me a weirdo for still staying with my parents when I'm almost 30 years old, but you gotta trust me. Money wasn't on my side for my entire life. My parents were both broke when they first got married, and it was hard building themselves from the ground up. Their parents were broke, and so were theirs, and back generations. Money was never with us, and we didn't know why. No matter how many times we tried to buy lottery tickets and hope we'd win, we'd always end up losing. So when I finally got enough money from my 3 jobs working in all stores, I could finally move into my new apartment. Sure, it wasn't much, but it was something, and I could finally tell my friends that I wasn't still living with my parents. When I first moved in, I found it extremely odd. The apartment was spacious and good from all my stuff, just like it had been on the photo, but there was a coppery sensation in it, like a smell of blood or rust. I didn't know, but whatever it was, I wasn't gonna complain since it was fate. I didn't see anything odd happening until probably the 4th day of living there. It started off with sounds of thudding. Lots of thudding against the floorboards, as if something was trapped beneath them and was pounding on them, asking for help at 12:30 in the morning. Or should I say night. I didn't know what it was, if it was just the house settling, me going crazy, or whatnot, but I decided to ignore it. I didn't want to trouble the landlord with it because he'd probably make me pay to get it fixed. And I did not have the money to spend on some complaints that I lodged. Anyway, so I went on with my life listening to thudding noises at 12:30 and smelling the smell of blood or rust all the time I'd walk into my apartment. I didn't care. At least I was proud. When I first threw a party at my house, I invited as many friends as I pleased, friends of friends, and friends of friends of friends, and so on. When my first friend entered the apartment with his friend, they also picked up on the smell of copper. I didn't know what to tell them except for that it was normal for the house to smell like that. My friends didn't give it much thought, and soon enough my apartment was filled with dancing crazy people, all drunk and some smoking. I didn't care. This was a drink-free, and smoke-free area. I could do whatever I wanted in this apartment, or so I thought. By the time everybody left, it was approximately 12:30 in the morning, and the thudding began again. I didn't give it much thought and instead went to sleep. When I woke up the next morning, I found myself in a strange place. It was my room, but it seemed as though everything was in reverse. My bed was on the opposite side of the room where it used to be yesterday, and the door stood right across from it instead of where it used to stay. I didn't know what was going on, and as I tried to get out of bed, I felt something cold and slimy gripping onto my ankles, pulling me back down. What the hell? I slurred, still feeling the overhang from last night's party. I tried to reach out with my hand towards my alarm clock, but something slimy also grabbed my wrist and forced it back down to the bed. Hey, Purdy, I gotta get to work, I slurred, thinking my cat was playing some jokes with me. Unfortunately, it wasn't my cat. I stared down to the side of my bed and nearly had a heart attack. It was huge. It was probably 8 to 9 feet long and 4 feet wide. Its head was a massive cone-shaped object with sharp teeth hidden behind drawn-back lips. The teeth were yellow, crooked, and stained with something that looked like tobacco or blood. Its tongue was long and snake-like, lolling out of its mouth. Its claws were sharp, like kitchen knives, threatening to slice me apart if I dared move an inch from its slimy appendages for hands. It had multiple of those appendages. I don't know how much, 100, 150, 200? No, even more. Maybe 1,000? It was a large ball of slimy, writhing appendages attached to where the arm should have been. It looked humanoid, but not exactly. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I could feel the thing beginning to drag me. It dragged me sideways, off the bed, and I slammed into its body, creating a slimy, wet, squelching sound. I was disgusted, and I opened my mouth to scream again, but nothing came out. It was as if my vocal cords had been blocked off, or worse, removed. I managed a wheezing breath that used to sound like my voice, but nothing else came out. I tried to fight, but it was as if I was gripped by sleep paralysis. I couldn't do anything, couldn't move, couldn't speak. Hell, I could hardly breathe. The creature pulled me to the side and began to drag me. As I looked at it, I saw it wasn't walking, it was crawling. It was using those slimy appendages to drag itself across the floor. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't fight it, I couldn't scream for help, I couldn't do anything. I was just being its puppet. It pulled me towards the closet, my closet, and as I opened it, I was horrified. That closet looked like a portal to hell. There were no clothing, no suitcases, nothing. Not even my electric guitar amplifier that used to stand in the dusty old corner. No, it was gone. I didn't know what to do. The closet walls were stained with something that looked like blood. Or was it? The floor was made out of human bone, and carpeted across the bone was human skin, weaved into different patterned carpets to cover the floor. Moss appendages hung from the wall, more like restraints or chains, but human-like. They organs? I wanted to vomit, and that's what I did. Pasty brown substance poured from my mouth, mixed with the piss-yellow beer that I drank the day before. I gasped for air, trying to scream, and finally it came out. A loud, high-pitched scream. That was the last sound I ever made. Then I felt it. I felt it digging into my chest, pulling my ribs apart and tearing through my heart and lungs. I gasped for air, but I couldn't. There was a burning sensation in my stomach as the thing's claws pierced it, removing every single part of my internal organs. I screamed, at least in my head I did, but nothing happened. It moved down from my stomach to my legs and then up to my arms. And without thinking, it went for my neck. I climbed into the man with perfectly good ability to fit in. Now, he wouldn't be drinking and making parties all day while I tried to ask for help. I pleaded and begged for him, pleaded for him to open that door, but he never did. I banged on the floorboards every night at approximately 12:30, but he ignored me. He got what he deserved. Now, time to get that door. I'm coming!